Welcome to episode 141 of Cameron Sports Podcast. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about Thompson and Opelika advancing to the 7A Alabama State Championship game. It will be tomorrow, Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So those if you want to watch the game, if you live here in Alabama or even the Columbus, Georgia area, that's pretty much right across the bridge. That's what time the game starts. Should be able to watch it on TV. I don't know the network, but it's Alabama High School Associate. That's usually when the high school games be on. But I wanted to talk about the semifinal games that happened about a week or two ago. Let's start with Opelika, the first semifinal game, Opelika and Auburn. Opelika defeated Auburn 31-28 to advance to the state title game. Now, I didn't make my prediction on my show on here, but I did make my prediction on my podcast Twitter page, and I had picked Auburn. Like I said, I knew it would be a close game because, like I said, both these teams had a really good game in the regular season, the 100th meeting. Opelika had lost to Auburn 17-10. It was a very low-scoring game, but it was a very great game. That could have went either way. In this game, the key factor in this game for Opelika winning this game was senior running back C.J. Johnson. He had 24 carries for 185 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a 57-yard touchdown run that sealed the game for Opelika to beat Auburn 31-28. The head coach of Opelika is Bryan Moore. They are at 10-3 right now. Like I said, Opelika has had a really, really, really good season. I ain't gonna lie, kind of in the beginning of the season underestimated just a little bit, not real big much, but I knew they had a really good program at Opelika. But like I said, I didn't think they were better than Auburn or Central or Thompson. But they have had a phenomenal season led by their senior running back C.J. Johnson, and their head coach Bryan Moore. Shout out to him. But yeah, like I said, it was a really good game, and like I said, shout out to Auburn head coach Keith Etheridge. Sorry if I'm saying your last name right. Like I said, you got a great team. Right, with you, a lot of great players. Regardless of even the seniors that you'll lose, I know you still got really good players that are going to step up. Freshmen, sophomores, juniors are going to be seniors. I think Auburn will be right back competing next year to get the state. Just falling a little bit short. I know that sucks, especially losing in the semifinal game and getting that close to state, especially if you're a senior. But Auburn High School, they had a phenomenal season, and like I said, just want to give flowers due to head coach Keith Etheridge, the head coach of Auburn here in Alabama. Now on to the defending 7A state champions, the Thompson Warriors. They went head-to-head with the Central High School Red Devils here in Phenix City, Alabama, where I reside. They defeated Central 35-34 in the Alabama 7A semifinal game to advance to their 8th straight state championship. I said they were 8th straight. Like that's crazy. Like straight dominance by Thompson, led by their head coach Mark Freeman. Shout out to Coach Freeman. He's a very, very great coach. He has won state titles at other schools also, not just at Thompson. But he is a great coach, and I would love to sit down and talk to him eventually one day soon, pick his brain, just see how he works. I love seeing a really good coach, great coaches, just help young men on and off the field, and the way he supports his players. I see it on Twitter. Every time his players get an offer, he's there to congratulate them, showing them love. It's the reason why he has a hashtag called #OutWork'emAll, and it's not just for saying, it's something that Thompson has been preaches all season. I'll work them all. That's exactly the reason why they've been making to 8 straight state championships almost pretty much for the past decade, really. And They're looking right now. They're looking to win back-to-back state titles again. So, yeah. Like I said again, they'll be playing their 8th straight. Now, they did defeat Central 35-34. I watched the game on TV. I should have been there in person, y'all. I thought about it. I really was gonna go to this game in person because the stadium is literally right, like probably like 10 minutes from me where I live. 15 minutes from where I live in Phenix City. And I should have went to that game because I wanted to see great players like Bobby. Even though of course I seen Bobby Coleman Jr. and Tristan Lyles play in person, but I wanted to also see Trent Seaborn and them boys play a four-star quarterback that's committed to the University of Alabama in the 2027 class, and he's only a junior. He's been starting at Thompson since he was in 8th grade. They put him in the state championship game as an 8th grader, and he won it. Defeated Auburn as an 8th grader, won state championship. That's how really good Trent Seaborn is, and the reason why he's committed to Alabama, and the reason why he's a 4-star quarterback. And Coach Freeman saw something in him that I guess like, hey, I can't keep him off the field. He gives us the best chance to win. Why not? And he went out there and balled. But yeah, and I know, like I said, so it's like he has a lot of. It's like basically like in college. You know, in college where you have that quarterback that's a 6-year senior. It's like Trent Seaborn is like kind of like, I don't know, a 6-year senior in high school because he started since 8th grade, so freshman year, sophomore, junior. Now he's about to be a senior, so this is about to be his 5th year. Next year will be his 5th year of starting high school football as a quarterback for Thompson. And potentially, if they beat Opelika, that's back-to-back, he'll have a chance to, in his high school career, going on 3-peat. I think that will be his, because he won his 8th grade year. I think lost the next. No, I think they won it. I think he has at least 3 right now. He has a possible chance to have four. Because I think one year he didn't win 4 or 5 state championships. Yeah, at least 4 state championship rings by the time he finishes at Thompson. That's crazy. That's a remarkable high school career in the state of Alabama that might not be topped. But yeah, like I said, it was a very, very, very great game. I'll say this, like, the key factors in this game that made it, like, players on Thompson that made an impact were the defensive back, DeMonte Tab. He had 3 interceptions against Central. And now granted, like I said, Thompson really good. They got a lot of good players on that team. But, of course, Central got a lot of great players also. It's the reason why Central has played Thompson in the state championship almost every year. It's just this season they didn't. I think the reason because, like I said, I think Thompson kind of had a little setback during the regular season because they lost to Hoover. They lost to Clay Cartersville. And they lost to, I forgot who else. They lost to Clay Clarksville, Hoover, and they lost to somebody else. I forgot who they lost to. But, Grayson, yeah, in Georgia. They lost to Grayson. So they probably would have been on the other side of the bracket and probably could have ended up playing Central in the state championship game. Because this game, watching it on TV, it felt like a state championship game. Like, I'm not gonna lie, in my opinion, it could be a good game between Opelika and Thompson. I'm hoping it is. I just think that I don't think it's gonna be better than the semifinal game between Thompson and Central. I just don't, because that one was really good. You had 2 elite coaches, Mark Freeman, Patrick Nix, 2 elite quarterbacks, Trent Seaborn, 4-star in 27 class, 4-star Bobby Coleman Jr., Tristan Lyles, all-time sack leader at Central. DeMonte Tab, highly recruited defensive back. Both rosters have multiple players with FBS offers, college offers on all levels. So much talent on the field that was displayed. But yeah, really crazy. But Thompson 10-3, also just like Opelika. Yeah, and it was just really, really, really good game. But like I said, as far as like Central, there's no shame in them boys. Like, they had a phenomenal season. They went 11-2. They finished 7-0 in their region. Even though they lost, Tristan Lyles had a phenomenal game and a phenomenal season. In the game, he had 11 total tackles versus Thompson. He had a sack, 2 tackles for loss, 1 hurry. He had 20 sacks a whole season, y'all. Tristan Lyles is a beast. 6'1", 240 plus pounds. He's a beast. Watching his workout videos, going to camps, is the reason why he won MVP multiple times. He may be a 3-star, but he plays like he's a 5-star. And really, to be honest, stars are kind of overrated. To be honest, they're mostly benefit to schools, so it don't matter once you step on that field. And it's the reason why he's an all-time sack leader. And you would think, like, okay, he's an all-time sack leader, but no. Central has had a whole bunch of talent. When I tell you, Central is literally like a university. Like a miniature university. And the school is like 10 minutes from where I live at. Or where we live at now. Like I said, seeing players like T.J. Parker come through here. He's at Clemson. He's potentially going to be a first-round pick. He broke his record. It's an all-time sack record. And he was a 4-star, highly recruited defensive end. A lot of talent. A lot of pass rushers that come through Central. And Tristan Lyles is now the best to come through Central. He's an all-time sack leader at Central. Well-deserved. Well over 30 sacks in his career. And, yesterday he committed to Jacksonville State, a really good program in the Conference USA. And really, Tristan could have went almost anywhere he wanted to. He had offers from Georgia Tech, Auburn, UAB, Kentucky, Troy, a whole lot of schools. He was committed to App State at one point, decommitted, but now he committed to Jacksonville State. I think that's a great fit. I think their head coach, it's a defensive-minded head coach. Like I said, I think that's a great fit for Tristan. Plus, he gets to stay in the state of Alabama. He's going to get developed. He's going to be able to potentially play right away, or at least contribute. So, and I think he can. Like I said, there's a reason why he's an all-time sack leader at Central. A player like that is just not going to ride the bench in college. It's just my opinion. But like I said, congratulations to you, Tristan. Like I said, I hope you're still interested in coming on the show. You know what I'm saying? Sit down, interview, talk some ball on and off the field, get to know you, let the people who watch the show get to know you. And like I said, I'm going to definitely continue to watch your journey as you go on to college at the FBS level at a really good school at Jacksonville State here in Alabama. Who knows? I might try to catch a game. I want to go to more college games, but he definitely going to be a really good player. Also, another player that had I say a good game, even though he had 5 interceptions. Bobby Coleman Jr., he had 3 touchdowns versus Thompson. Yes, 5 picks, but during the season he had 3,000 passing yards, 33 touchdown passes, only 9 interceptions. Now, before that game, he only had, I believe it was like 3-4. But, that 5 interceptions and 9, but that's still a phenomenal season. His first full year starting as a starting quarterback at Central, he balled out. And it's the reason why he has offers from Texas A&M, Georgia, Kentucky, Auburn, multiple Power 5 schools. He can continue to get more. And I think he's going to be even better for his senior year. I can see, like I said, him possibly leading the run for Central to win state next year. Because they got a lot of talent coming back next year. But I do got a couple questions I wrote down because I seen people in the comments talking about Central, how that game ended versus Thompson. Did Coach Nix make the right call going for a 2-point conversion over extra point and over overtime? And would I have done it? I'll say this. No, I don't think he made the wrong call. Like, Coach Nix is a very great coach. He's won at Pendleton Valley. He won multiple state championships at Pendleton Valley. He's won a state championship here at Central. One thing about great coaches, not every great coach is going to make the right call every single time. Look at Pete Carroll in the Super Bowl. They should have ran the ball, but he threw it. Not saying, and really looking at that when I was watching on TV, it wasn't a bad call. And I even shout out to Donald, one of my coworkers. He's a team leader at Kia. He posted a video on Facebook, and from his angle, he even showed it that Patrick Nix made the right call also from his point of view, because really like I said, Central's running back number 16, shout out to him. I forgot his name, but really very great player, very underrated. he, like I said, did a real good route, went through in between the tackles, caught the ball. It's just the defender. Even Coach Freeman, Mark Freeman, the head coach for Thompson, even said in an interview that thank God that a player was in the right position, made the tackle, because that could have went either way. If that player would have missed that tackle, ball game. Not ball game. They would have had some seconds left, but Central probably would have won the game, possibly. Even though, like I said, again, it was like 40, 30 seconds left in the game. But I think it was a great call. There's no shame in that. I know the players, it's like in that scenario, they had the momentum. Coach Nix, he believed his offense marched right down the field. He believed in them. Like, hey, he picked the right call. I thought they was gonna throw it to their receiver, Mike Bass, the tall 6'4" receiver. I thought they was gonna possibly throw it to him, but I don't think it was a bad call. Now, would I have done it? No, I'm not gonna lie. I would have kicked that extra point because I'm not a head coach. I'm not coaching Knicks. I don't have the IQ of a head coach like he does. But I would have went for it, played it out, going to overtime. Like I said, just carry that momentum to overtime. And like, hey, let's get a stop, and we're gonna go right down the field and win this game. That's what I would have done. I would just play for overtime and see what happens. Like, but either way, like, I have no problem with Coach Nix. I'm not, like I said, judging him. I don't think it was a bad call. It could have went either way. It was a very great game. Like I said, I wouldn't have done it, no, but it was a great play. It's just the defender for Thompson was in the right position and made the tackle. That's what coaches teach. To make in a moment like that, a player's one-on-one with the other player, you make that tackle open space, and he did. But like I said, Central's going to bounce back. They got a lot of great players on that team. And I wrote down a few players to watch for Central in 2026, starting with a couple players that's related to Tristan Lyles. His brother, defensive end Aiden Lyles, he's a sophomore. He already has offers from Liberty, Arkansas State, and Sacramento State. So he, like I said, very good player. Look out for him. Who knows? He may even try to break his own brother's record. We'll see, but he's a player to watch out for Central. His twin brother, Jathan Lyles, he's a sophomore, 2028 also, twin brother of Aiden Lyles. Watch out for him. I think he's going to pick up some offers as well. Also, wide receiver Mac Bass, 2027. He's a junior. He'll be a senior next year. He's 6'4". He has offers from Auburn, Arkansas, Georgia State, Kentucky, Arkansas State, Jacksonville State, University of Tennessee, Martin, and more. One player to definitely watch out for is freshman wide receiver Braylon Averett. He's a freshman. One of the few freshmen for Central to start at wide receiver since I think it was Justin Ross. I forgot who else, but he's a very talented. He led Central in catches with 49 in yards and touchdowns. He had 49 catches for 939 yards, 9 touchdowns. Braylon Everett is legit. Him and Zach Watts are the two freshmen that really impressed me. Zach Watts for Carver, freshman running back for Carver, that impressed me this season. Like, they don't play like freshmen. They literally play like they are seniors, and they only gonna continue to get better. And I'm glad that I get to watch these two grow as freshmen into men when they get by the time they're seniors and going off to college at Power 5 schools or FBS schools. But yeah, he led the team in catches as a freshman. And like I said, and obviously, that's a dog because Mike Bass, a 6'4" target like that, with Power 5 offers, he's a dog. So Braylon Everett's a dog. And also defensive end Marcus Price, sophomore, he has offer from UTSA and Arkansas State. Like I said, right there, those are just a few players right there I wrote down. I didn't, of course, not gonna talk about Bobby Coleman or the offensive line, the 4-star offensive lineman. Like I said, them two don't need to, too much for me to brag on because, like I said, they're very great players. I know what they're gonna do, but I just feel like I just want people to know that there's more players on Central's team that need love and need to be known that they're like, hey, they coming. Like I think Central, they're not gonna miss a beat. Let's just say that they're not gonna miss a beat. They're gonna be just fine next year. Oh yeah, Jatori Williams, the 4-star offensive lineman who was committed to Alabama, just decommitted. It's gonna be interesting to see his recruitment, how it goes, like where, what school he probably gonna go to. He could. It doesn't mean he won't go to Alabama. I just like he said. I saw a post that he felt like he kind of rushed it, which is fine. I think I feel like some players do kind of rush their decision a little bit. Like, oh, let me commit to Alabama because I like, but you want to make sure you make the right decision because he goes to Alabama and then next year he transfers. So you don't want that to happen. But yeah, let's get to this state championship game between Opelika and Thompson. I wrote down some keys to victory for both schools. Let's start with Opelika. For Opelika, I think they got to get their run game going with running back C.J. Johnson. He should have 20 to 30 carries in this game. He is their key factor of winning this game. If Opelika wants to keep the ball out of Tristan Seaborn's hands, they're going to run the ball, run the clock. C.J. Johnson, just like against Auburn, he had, again, 24 carries in that game. He should have, really, I would go for 35 carries, C.J. Johnson, in this game. Get that run game going. Get some play action going. So that way, Thompson's going to stack the box, stop C.J. Johnson. That happens, you got one-on-one with your receivers. Also, apply pressure on quarterbacks Trent Seaborn. No clean pocket. Central did the same thing. Tristan Lyles, they was able to get pressure on Trent Seaborn. They even got a pick or two off of him. You got to get pressure on him. And also double team wide receiver Dorian Mosley, a junior receiver. He had 1,000 yards for Thompson. He's 6'2", big receiver. So you might have to double team him at some points during the game. Keys to victories for Thompson. Neutralize the run game for Opelika. You're going to have to force the quarterback to beat you with his arm. So that meaning, again, you're going to have to take away C.J. Johnson. He's no joke. He's a big running back. He's 6 feet, 20 pounds. Very fast running back, very physical. I think the game against Auburn, I think he was clocked at 21 miles per hour, so he can move. He's a physical running back, and he's fast. So you're going to have to neutralize him and make Opelika's quarterback beat you with his arm. And like, hey, we don't respect you with your arm. We're going to shut down your run game. You're going to have to show us that you can beat us with your arm. That's what they're going to have to do. And lastly, Thompson's secondary needs to force turnovers. The defensive back, DeMonte Tab and Makai Fleming, both elite defensive backs, have Power 5 offers from schools like Oregon, Georgia, Alabama, West Virginia, and so on, USC, 2 elite. That's just 2 defensive backs. Thompson has a lot of great players in that secondary. But players like that are going to have to force turnovers whenever they do shut down. If they are able to shut down the run game and force Opelika's quarterback to beat them, force turnovers, just like he did against Central, against an elite quarterback like Bobby Coleman Jr. Now for my prediction. I thought about it. I want to see a good game. I really do. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this could be a good game for the most part, but I just think Thompson just has more firepower than Opelika does. Like I said, now Thompson's they're really not more, from what I've seen, they didn't really run the ball that much against Central. They were more pass heavy. That could change. We don't know what Coach Mark Freeman is doing. He could change. He can mix it up, get the run game going, play action, or do what they did against Central. Because Trent Seaborn can sling it. Like I said, they got a big, tall wide receiver and Dorian Mosley, who had over 1,000 yards. He's 6'2", so he's a very good receiver. So they obviously like to sling it. But yeah, I just think Thompson is going to be too much for Opelika. In the end, like I said, they probably might keep it close for the most part, but I think Thompson's going to end up pulling away. And I got Thompson winning this game 41-27 over Opelika. Shout out to them having a good season. I just think Coach Mark Freeman, and Trent Seaborn, all the boys are just going to be a little bit too much. I think they're going to be the heavy favorite. They should be. I think if I'm a betting man, I would probably say Thompson should open up as a 10-point, at least a bare minimum, a 10-point favorite. But, hey, if I if I underestimate Coach Bryan more for Opelika, I'll take that. You could take it out on me. You know, I underestimated y'all in the beginning of the season. I do want to see a good game. I do. So prove me wrong. Prove anybody else wrong. That's outside of the Opelika community. It doesn't go to Opelika High School. But I know Coach Mark Freeman's he's not gonna underestimate them. Of course, he's a very great coach. It's the reason why you make it to eight straight state championships. You don't do that with overestimating your opponent. But like I said, I just think that game against Central is gonna be better than the state championship game. And I just feel like Central is Thompson's biggest rival in the state of Alabama. It's not Auburn. It's not Opelika. It's not Carver Montgomery. It's Central because they literally play them almost every year in state just about. But yeah, I want to see a good game. Shout out to both schools. This game will be on tomorrow, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, on the Alabama High School Association Network. I think the AHSA, I think is what it's called. It'll be on. It should be on TV at 7 o'clock. It'll be in Birmingham, Alabama. I definitely can't wait to catch the game as much as I can. And like I said, either way, I want to see a hard-fought game between two great schools that fought hard to make it. They're both 10-3, so it's a reason why. But like I said, if Opelika wants to win this game, C.J. Johnson has to have 20 to 30 carries. Really, I say 30 to win this game. If he gets 30 carries, it's a possible chance he could possibly get to, like I said, 185 against Auburn, like it did versus Thompson. So if he can get 30 carries for 180, 200 yards, if he gets that, I'll say Opelika probably wins the game. I'm not going to lie. If he gets 185, 200 yards, I'll say Opelika might win that game. But if he doesn't and he only gets 70, 80 yards, I just think there's no way you beat Thompson going rush for only 70, 80 yards. There's no way. There's too much talent on that team. So, but those are my predictions. Like I said, I wanted to talk about both semifinal games. Shout out to Auburn High School again, Coach Keith Eldridge, the amazing season they had. They finished 10-3, 5-1 in their region. Again, shout out to local Central High School, home of the Red Devils here in Phenix City, Alabama. Finished 11-2. They only finished with one loss in the state of Alabama. The other loss was against IMG, the powerhouse high school in Florida. They finished 7-0 in their region. Also want to shout out to all the Central players and seniors on that team, especially Tristan Lyles, finishing his career the all-time sack leader at Central. And I know you're gonna be a dog at Jack State. I hope maybe you might become the all-time sack leader at Jack State. You never know. I wouldn't rule that out at all with a caliber player like that. But yeah, and like I said, shout out to Coach Patrick Nix. Like I said, I know that loss hurts him just like his players, but I think he's going to bounce back. Like I said, he's a very great coach, and I think him, Bobby Coleman, wrestling players, Aiden Lyles, Jathan Lyles, Mike Bass, Braylon Everett, all Marcus Price are all going to bounce back and have a phenomenal season next year. But I look forward to the game between Opelika Thompson. It's tomorrow again, Birmingham, Alabama, 7 o'clock. Make sure y'all catch it. This has been your favorite host, Cameron Lindsay, Cameron Sports Podcast. Make sure you follow me on all social medias regarding Cameron Sports Podcast. Help me get to 300 subs before the end of this month. We're almost there. And yeah, like I said, I definitely appreciate y'all tuning in for every show, every episode, whenever you can. I'll catch y'all next time. I'm signing out. Take care.